So what do you, how are you? Yeah, what are you, Brian?
Started off as an SC almost 9 years ago, and like Chris wouldn't leave me alone, and we just became friends. So here
Cool.
we are.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 10 of 2026. I'm Chris Louie, and baseball season is officially in full swing, pun intended. With me, we have my co-host Duke Silver, who survived another tour in the Windy City.
Yeah, Chicago was good to me this time. Had some fun. I did freeze my off. I guess I'll have to edit that out. But yeah, it was a little chilly. I'm trying to think. It's good to be back, and 100% baseball sucks, so I can't believe you even called that out.
Not MLB, it's kids' baseball season.
Oh, okay.
It's the only kind I watch as well.
Yeah, the MLB season, I think it's still spring training now.
Dude, my daughter was dating this kid back in high school, and he was like really good at baseball, right? Like his senior year, he set the home run record and had offers to go, like full ride, and like giving him like an allowance of like $2,000 a month, to play at colleges, and then I think even like the White Sox were looking at him. And I was like, I remember sitting there telling him, I was like, my fear is that you and my daughter will get married, and then you'll go pro, and I'll have to go watch your stupid games, and which is whatever. They ended up not working out, but the funniest part about that whole thing is like when he graduated and had all these opportunities, like I'm like, where are you going? What are you gonna do? He's like, I'm just gonna. I don't want to swing a bat ever again. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like you're just walking away from it? He's like, yeah. I was like, dude, if I was your mom and dad, I'd kill you for all that money.
Yeah,
that we spent,
time, energy,
babies. Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
God.
taking you to games. Yep. All right. Well, can't force him to like it, I suppose.
But for the record, just in case he's listening or someone that loves him, is I still like things didn't work out between him and my daughter, but still a great kid. Actually, not a kid anymore. He's a man, and I like him to death. So.
Good. It's like the son you never had.
Or the. I think it's like son or daughter I never wanted, right? Like it's just,
Yeah.
they're a lot of work.
And we do not have Glenn Medina this week. He may or may not be on assignment in the Middle East. Who knows? Our guest this week is my good colleague and fellow Magic the Gathering enthusiast, Dustin Henderson. Welcome to the show, Dustin.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
As a fun story, I had in my office, I have random stuff all around. I had like some framed cards on my wall just over my shoulder, very discreet. But Dustin like spotted. He's like, "Is that Magic the Gathering? Do you have that over your shoulder?" Like, oh, you're the first person to ever notice that.
You
Those are really
nerds.
expensive cards.
Oh my gosh, nerds! It's a
Yeah.
Wait, Dustin, are you married?
Yes.
Do you have kids too?
Yes, I have 4 kids.
My God, there is literally someone out there for everyone, folks. So if you're young and you're listening and like I like magic cards and weird things like that, there's someone out there. So there's hope for you.
It's true. There's that old saying. It's like for every nut out there, there is a screw.
All right.
I like it.
Pause. This is a child's podcast.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. And we got 4 awesome stories for this week. So sit back, relax, and bomb, Iran.
Oh gosh.
I should also point out, Dustin, I think, is the only guest we've ever had from the great state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
nice.
moved here from Austin, Texas a few years ago. Had to get out of the rat race for a little bit and enjoy some peace and quiet and beautiful scenery. If you've never been, highly recommend it, but don't move here.
Land of Walmart and Bill Clinton.
Tyson Foods, and yeah, there's a few of us out there.
This week, we're going to talk about cybers in the Middle East. What could possibly go wrong when you brag about your crimes online? For our third topic, our boneheaded story of the week, and close with death pool talk. for our first topic, unless you have literally been living under a rock for the last week. By now, you've heard that Israel and the U.S. have bombed over 3,000 strategic sites in Iran, severely degrading their attack capabilities and assassinating most of their senior political and military leadership. This is not a geopolitics podcast, but an InfoSec one, so the tie-in here is a report on how U.S. Cyber Command contributed to the operation now known as Epic Fury against Iran. The role of cyber was highlighted in the opening hours of the attack when U.S. Cybercom allegedly hacked into Iranian targets to disable power, jam radar systems, and overwhelm their early detection capabilities, paving the way for Israeli and American jets, U.S. Tomahawk missiles, and long-range bombers. This is not to mention the massive signal intelligence campaign running out of various intelligence agencies, including the highly secretive Unit 8200, who was tracking their supreme leader for decades to know exactly when he would be meeting with senior leadership to take them all out in a coordinated and well-timed strike.
Oh, I just saw that you hit the enter or the return on that, so I didn't know if you were
keep talking. Yeah, I was talking for a while, so I'll let you guys chime in.
Yeah, so number one, just because I think this is kind of a sensitive topic, I love the U.S. I love our troops. I don't necessarily agree with police in the world, so I'm going to take the stand on that one. I know it's probably not a widely popular opinion, but I'm sure that it's weird and hard to say that because, I don't want to do that. But then every once in a while, like I know people from Iran in the U.S. or Iran, excuse me, that are very actually happy about this in the same breath. So it's like I feel a little bit torn on this whole decision making and Operation Epic Fury, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. So
I'd say it's very similar. What you just said, Venezuela was the same way. You see people, pictures of people celebrating in the streets and going wild, and then you turn on the news and they're like, how dare we? And I don't know, it's a very complicated issue, and I'm not a geopolitical strategist by any means, but it's interesting to see the difference between perspectives based on your view.
Exactly. So but nonetheless, I think this is have we had any American casualties in this, or was it just widely just a successful campaign?
6,
I think
from what I understand.
Yeah. It's up to 6 now. Yeah.
6 too many. Damn. Yeah. That sucks.
Agreed.
Prayers, and if you're a family member, come, I'll give you a hug. So anyways, we're supposed to be talking about the technical side of this, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's the changing landscape of warfare that some people, and this is before all this happened, some people are saying the next great war, the next world war is going to be fought in cyberspace, or it'll at least start in cyberspace. And sure enough, this was a war that started in cyberspace, just blacked out their communications, their early warning systems, and then just paved the way for our traditional kinetic weapons.
I mean, we are seeing that adoption of the factory of the future, right? And so when we think of Iran, power grid being disabled, right? Is that just from the bombing, or did they actually hack into it, right? And that just makes you wonder, is this no longer an air gap network, even for critical infrastructure, which is, it's wild. So if you're listening and you're in the U.S. and you have to secure that, boy, do I have a product for you. But it's incredible to hear that. Or did they do something sophisticated like Stuxnet to be able to get in there and disable, power and hack it from that perspective? Who knows?
Yeah, well, these networks are not as air-gapped as you'd like to think. We saw it in Ukraine. Critical infrastructure is supposed to be air-gapped, and twice, Russia turned off Ukraine's power just by hacking into them.
It's a target here in the U.S. as well, right? We see the news reports that Verizon and T-Mobile, or if they're not already in and getting access to, customer information in one way or another, then they're constantly they're bombarding the networks themselves with access attempts. So I think it's a core piece of critical infrastructure regardless.
There's also some level of mutually assured destruction here, because I remember reading a report that said, the Chinese are all up in our power grid, and then we, the U.S. have like we put implants into like the Chinese power grid as well. Like we made it obvious. Like it wasn't like if we didn't want to be seen, they couldn't find us. But we like made it obvious. Like we can get in. Like if we want to, we can get in. And it's sort of like that mad doctrine from the Cold War. Like you have nukes, we have nukes. If everybody launches, we all die. Same thing. Like you turn off our power, we'll turn off your power. So it's best to leave that one alone.
Bro, if they wanted to take out our grid, like all it would take is some sleeper cells and a rental car. Every time I drive by these substations, I'm like, there's someone with this, like, I don't know, my daughter driving at 7 o'clock in the morning. She could ruin life for everyone just by driving this car into this thing if she wanted to. Imagine with someone that actually was paid or really believed that could be something. It's wild. Because that gate ain't stopping nothing, at least in Arizona. And if you're a bad guy listening, it's heavily armed. We'll nuke you. Like, don't even try it. It would never work. Yeah.
It's not only that. It's like if somebody is motivated and they know what they're doing, because there are certain like choke points. I think we saw this was it in Spain and Portugal? They said there was like a drop in solar power. They had a really cloudy day, and all of a sudden these solar farms went offline, and that made this go offline, and they had like a nationwide power outage because the system is just so fragile. So a motivated actor really knowing what they're doing, and they take out the right points in the network, they can do some serious damage. No resiliency.
Zero.
And I think aside from the military side of it, there's also like the PSYOPs side of it, where they were using mobile phone networks. Allegedly, Israel and the U.S. hacked into these mobile phone networks. They were able to track targets or track their bodyguards. Some people say, well, the principal doesn't carry a phone, but their bodyguards do, so you can track their bodyguards that way. They allegedly blocked all cell signal around the target attack areas so that they couldn't get any warnings in or out. And then post-bombing, some hackers, we don't know if they're state-aligned or just activists, they were blasting out like SMS messages. And there's this prayer app that a lot of Iranians use. They were blasting out messages that says, rise up and take control of your country. Or they'd hack into the national TV system and like play broadcasts of the U.S. president telling people to rise up. So, I mean, that's got to have a psychological effect on you too. That just saying that the U.S. is all up in their business.
I don't know if that would be, personally, I think it would scare me more than, incite me to do anything in that situation. So yeah, that's, if I start getting random text messages from, the government basically saying to rise up, yeah, I'm staying home. Not going anywhere. No grocery trips. Yeah.
Back in the pandemic lockdown.
Yes.
Well, I think it'll be interesting once it comes out, because I think they're only telling us what they want us to know, but I'd be more interested in seeing what they're not willing to tell us right now and what capabilities we have. Like, remember out of Venezuela, they talked about that discombobulator weapon. There's some kind of brand new weapon that no one's supposed to know about, and there's something like that in Iran. We've used some cyber tooling that is so secret that was highly effective, but they can't tell us about it yet.
Strange times.
Oh, yeah. And I guess gone are the days of the good old Stuxnet that you just pay some Dutch intelligence officer to sneak a USB drive into the nuclear research facility. And like we tried that. It worked for a little bit, but it seemed like at some point diplomacy was not working, and they chose to go by other means to stop their nuclear ambitions.
We're not just dropping rubber duckies over Iran. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Hey, what's this USB drive? I'm just going to plug it into my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Who sang this song? Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bad time so much fun.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. That was weird. I wish I did not sing that.
Now it's forever on the internet, Brian.
Yeah. Haters will say it's real.
All right, for our second topic, this week, the U.S. FBI scooped up the son of a government contractor who stole $46 million in seized cryptocurrency from the U.S. Marshal Services. John Dagita, John Dagita, was arrested on the island of St. James in the Caribbean. When French authorities arrested him, he was in possession of a buttload of US $100 bills and several hard drives, some Trezor hardware wallets, and YubiKeys. Back in January, the U.S. government realized that the son of a government contractor stole $46 million that his dad was holding. So his dad was actually a legal custodian of this money, but the son somehow managed to get access to it and stole all that money that he was supposed to be holding for the U.S. Marshal Service. Now, this kid, I can't remember how old he is. He is a kid, though. He made a huge OPSEC error when he got into a dispute with another online criminal, and they challenged each other to show how much stolen crypto they had, and a clever blockchain investigator traced one of the wallets from this kid back to funds that were stolen from the U.S. government. Once again, we have that strange dichotomy that this boy is smart enough to steal $46 million in crypto, but dumb enough not to keep his mouth shut.
I don't know that he's that smart. It feels like it was kind of a copy-paste thing.
It could be. It's like, yeah, like dad's account and has all this money. I'm just going to yoink.
It's the family PC. Like, can we just talk real quick? Why on earth did John Daglietta even have custodianship of this money? Like, it makes zero sense. Like, it should be like locked up, cold storage somewhere, right? No,
you would think.
Yeah, the story was this kid. So John is the guy that is the son that was arrested.
Yeah.
So his dad runs a company, and that company is supposed to hold the crypto because I guess this is my speculation here. The U.S. government isn't that well sophisticated in holding, selling, buying, all the legality of crypto. So they hire this company that says, why don't you hold this money for us? It's evidence in the trial. And, once the trial's over, you sell it and you give us the proceeds minus your 2% cut or whatever. So he was holding it in custodianship on behalf of the U.S. Marshals that seize the stolen Bitcoin or stolen crypto.
Bro, this is insane. Like, I guess we can just start up a company. Like, we'll hold your money. Like, where is it at? It's a random house in Arizona. Like,
it's on this Chromebook.
It's ridiculous, but good for them.
Was it? Is it your description? The buttload of $100 or $100 bills, Chris, or was that in the article?
that's the official legal term. Buttload of money.
How much is a buttload?
Click on the link. In the article, I would say, I'm just counting stacks here. Like, I know about 10,000 is this much. I'd say at least 100K, probably, in this briefcase.
We'll use AI to count it for us.
That's true. Yeah, I should ask Roxy how much money is actually in here.
Oh, this poor kid! All that money, he had that kind of haircut.
I know. It's like, he was getting roasted in the comments. He said, "Okay, good job, you arrested this guy. Now arrest his barber next."
Bro, that is
flip flops that say Bahamas.
Souvenir shop.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I thought maybe they put those on him.
No, I think that was his own choice. And then the other comment in this is on a thread on X. Somebody circled, like, most people will look at the briefcase and say, "Wow, that's a buttload of money," and then the crypto enthusiasts will circle the Trezor wallets at the bottom. Like, nope, that's where the real money's hidden. So on those crypto hardware wallets.
As I'm scrolling through this article, I'm like, oh, it looks like he bought a Ford Raptor. I was like, man, me and him have a lot in common. And then I realized it's an ad.
It's an ad.
Yeah.
You don't have ad block, Brian.
No. I don't fall victim to ads. Anyways, did I tell you about this incredible vacuum robot I just got the other day?
The DJI one.
Yeah. It's only $2,000. Just kidding. I did not buy that. I would not do that.
Wow. Yeah. Puts my my iRobot to shame.
Your Roomba.
Roomba, yeah.
Soon to be a paperweight.
Is it really?
Well, the iRobot got sold or got transferred into receivership, so the Chinese supplier owns it now, and who knows what they're going to do with it. If they're going to turn it into like a spy network or if they're going to end of life them, we don't know. But iRobot, as we know, it doesn't exist anymore. It got moved to the supplier company.
That was the whole reason I went with iRobot, was because a buddy of mine actually like looked into his network activity and found an alternative manufacturer was, communicating to some Chinese servers, and like, yeah, at least with iRobot, that's a local, US based company.
Yeah.
Out of luck.
Good job blocking that Amazon merger. Now it's a Chinese company.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for that.
Go team.
Well, I can guarantee this kid is in a heap of trouble, not just with the U.S. government, but with his dad as well. Like, he can't pull up, my father's got to hear about this. Like, his father's going to probably beat the crap out of him once he gets home.
You would think, right? But like that's what we would do, but not these parents today. They're gonna probably ask him about his feelings and what childhood event trauma triggered this to make you an idiot.
Give him a pat on the back, congratulating him on being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, if your kid comes to you and says, "Hey, Dad, I'm taking off for an island, in St. James, be back in maybe a month," like, you wouldn't have some questions around like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, that, and how would you not know that $46 million of money you're in charge of is missing too? Like, what kind of controls do you wrap around that?
Maybe he has 46 trillion, right? There's a big delta there. It's like a rounding error.
Could be. I'll just pay off the national debt then.
He has a severe dyslexia. I don't know how that fits into this, but if it did, yeah.
Mathematical dyslexia. It's actually a thing.
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he is talented enough to know that. For our third topic, this will be our cryptocurrency story of the week. I guess our second one of the week.
Yeah.
South Korean tax authorities lost $4.8 million when they accidentally posted the seed recovery phrase for a seized crypto wallet on their press release page. The tax authority was so proud of their bust, they posted a photo online of the cached and seized hardware wallets, not realizing the handwritten card in the ledger box contained the 12-word seed phrase for the device. A clever observer noticed this and used that recovery phrase to reconstruct the wallet's private key, giving him or her full control of the $4.8 million in crypto on the device. The funds, as you guessed, were quickly drained and laundered, and the South Korean government has a bit of egg on their face.
I think, they did nothing wrong. If you're going to be dumb enough to post the 12-word C phrase, that money's just gone. That's not nothing you can do about it.
It's just like the previous story where we said they took a picture of the cash and the hardware wallet. So, I mean, that's a pretty common thing to post a picture of your bust. But to not know, don't post that 12-word phrase or someone's going to steal all the crypto.
Yeah.
Slips right through the cracks.
You have to remember, not everyone knows what the hell they're doing. So, right?
Well, clearly the tax authority didn't know what they were doing, and hopefully they're not going to make that mistake again.
It's just funny, like, talking to, like, older people. I say that as I'm an old person now, but, like, they're like, oh, yeah, cryptocurrency is not real money. I'm like, well, that check cash right there. I'm going to tell you what, I would take that 4.8 million. And that's low. Like, that's after the crypto disaster. Or the crypto winter, right?
Yeah,
that's easily $9 million in a couple months. I don't know anything.
Just hodl.
It could be worth 1.4 as well. So what do I know?
Yeah. Either way, it's free money.
Yeah.
I think that also highlights a gap in understanding crypto, and I think this is to one of your points earlier. That says, well, why did this custodian company have money? Why didn't the U.S. government just take control of it? Well, here's a prime example of the government trying to work with crypto and just making a huge blunder about it, that they don't quite understand it, so they have to outsource it to a company that does.
I disagree with this being laundered. I don't know that I would agree with that. I would have said that they moved the money. Laundering would indicate some type of wrongdoing.
Well, they did. Well, so what happened was they they took the money, so the money was gone. But you can see on the blockchain, you can see exactly the wallet that took it. So there's no way you can cash it out unless you send it to like a tumbler like Tornado Cash, and then it mixes up the money, because those wallets get blocked on exchanges, and exchanges cooperate all the time. They said there's these wallets that are owned by Iranian terrorists that no exchange can cash these out. So if you don't launder the money by sending them through multiple wallets and multiple mixing services, you'll never be able to cash it out.
I don't like laundered again. That would indicate some type of wrongdoing here.
Well, they stole the money, so it's clearly wrongdoing.
If you're walking down the street and you find $100 or 4.8 million, it's money found, buddy. It's not stealing. That is just out for the open. I can't agree with this.
Is it the
All
same
right, well,
if your like credentials for your bank were leaked online and somebody, got in and started transferring? Yeah, where's the crime? The person logging into your account and moving the money, or the person that posted it online?
Let me think about this one.
Yeah.
Again, if I am dumb enough not to have multi-factor authentication and a password that rudimentary, then I guess that's on me as well.
It's fair.
Well, I think, at least here in the U.S., we have the CFAA, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and unauthorized access to machines and accounts. I think that's number one. That's a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know, at least here in the U.S., there's something called unjust enrichment, where like if I find a bag full of money on the street, like, is it mine? Yeah, should I do the right thing and turn it in? I'm not a lawyer, but there is something in the U.S. that's called unjust enrichment to close like loopholes exactly like that.
Bro, I feel like you are like actually considering being devious. You're like, oh, I could do this, but the CFAA will bust my ass. Like, no one knows about this stuff except for you.
You had to look into it.
Yeah, just like China, that's a giant red flag, my friend.
Well, that's the law that all these hackers always get busted on. Like, there's no explicit law that says I'm not supposed to hack into the Social Security database or something. So then the U.S. just has this blanket CFAA law that from the 70s, might I add, that's never been updated. That just blanketly says, like, you're not allowed to access systems you're not authorized to access. And just so many people get busted under that.
What was the second one that you said? The windfall?
Unjust enrichment.
And that sounds like a Bluebird like deal that a company uses to steal your commission check.
The Bluebird anti-Bluebird clause.
Yeah.
Yeah, always got to bake that one in. I'll ask Rock after this. I'll figure out what the line is on unjust enrichment. But I know that is something that exists to close the loophole. It's kind of like the Air Bud rule that says, well, there's no law against me doing this. And then they create a law that says that also kind of a blanket thing. You're not allowed to unjustly enrich yourself at the expense of someone else. Well, the tax authorities definitely learned a valuable lesson here. And also goes to show that law enforcement in general, I think they have a bit of a ways to go to handle crypto cases. And I think it's gotten pop maybe in the last 5 years, I would say. But before that, because crypto's been around since 2011. And when I talk to people in law enforcement, like they don't know what that is. Like they have financial crimes units that probably know, but your average beat cop probably doesn't know a ton about like how crypto works.
Yeah, it's weird. This guy just had a card sitting there with these 12 words written on it. So what's the harm in including that in the picture, right?
You know what we should do is just have cards with random 12 words. Just post it on Twitter every single day just to watch people scramble and try to steal the wallet. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if we generated a random one that had, the Bitcoin founders one on there? Like that would be
Satoshi.
Satoshi's one.
Wallet.
Mm-hmm. Any chances? Is that in English or is that a different language? You think?
No, I think it's an English only thing. The seed recovery phrase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then there's 12, there's 24, and I think there's 48 as well. The company Ledger chooses to use a 12-word recovery phrase, I guess, because if you've never seen one, it's like a tiny device, and it's got 2 buttons on it. And if you have to type in 24 or 48 words using these things, it'd get pretty annoying.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that I just can't randomly throw 12 words in there and just strike gold. It's so crazy.
So
Not that I had tried.
Just quick Google search on that says it's based on the BIP 39 standard, which supports Japanese. So, yeah, you can have something other than English. Sorry to interrupt you there.
All right. Well, once Brian buys his first quantum computer, we know what he's going to be using it for.
Oh, 100%.
I wonder how many possible combinations, because it's at least 12 words, and I can't remember how many words there are. I think there's at least like 30 different words, 30 different possible words, and 24, or yeah, 12 combination. I'm guessing that's like trillions of possibilities.
When you guys said, we're talking about, I think you said Japanese and you said a butterfly, and it reminds me of like, do you think that there's people in Japan that like they get a tattoo, they're like, this means water in English, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
as the same way. And then another one that I think it was kind of funny is like, I wonder if a butterfly ever wanted a tattoo of a fat single mother on its lower back.
Things that go through Brian's head. There are those videos I've seen either on Instagram or X where it's like Asian people critique white people getting, Chinese or Japanese characters tattooed on them, and so someone says like this might look cool, but this literally means like chicken dumpling or something.
Bro, so I have not seen any of those videos, but the other day I did take a picture of someone's tattoo. I was like, are you really sure this is what it says, what you think it is? Because ChatGPT will tell me otherwise. It was spot on. So
yeah, just make sure to get that double checked.
Yeah. I think it would be funny. Just like, oh yeah, it means love and loyalty, and it's like cheeseburger. Like, oh
yeah.
Oof.
You can see it on their T-shirts over there as well. Like they have whole like shopping centers filled with English phrases, and it's like, McDonald's tastes good, and like random, nothing anyone over here would actually ever wear on a T-shirt.
Just like how we probably wear a T-shirt with random Asian characters on it, and we wouldn't know what we were wearing.
Yep.
Bro,
the funniest one was, the funniest one was there's an Asian lady in the airport, and she's holding this like bag, like a reusable grocery bag, and it says like, this bag is full of drugs and I have a bomb or something in English.
The McDonald's CEO eating the burger has been Trollville, by the way. Like,
that is hilarious. Like,
dude, I think
the lengths people have taken that one.
Like, I think actually, was it Burger King?
Burger King was the first to respond.
Yeah, which is hilarious, right? Like, you got to love when you have executives that are just like childlike and just having a good time. Like, it warms my heart. Them, like, at the end of the day, they're still humans. And then, did Arby's do it?
Yeah, Wendy's did it. I think Wendy's was third, and then Arby's did one as well.
I like Wendy's the best.
I think I saw the... Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Wendy's one was the best because they specifically called out the fact that they called it a product. And he's like, yes, this product is fantastic. Or as most of you would know it, a burger.
A burger.
Yeah.
My favorite, I do like Arby's. I think I had read somewhere that says like, if you sleep in a trash can outside the Arby's, you automatically own it. Like...
They don't even have any of those around me anymore. The two that were near me both closed up. I wouldn't even know where to go to get an Arby's now.
Well, whose slogan was like, if it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face?
Carl's Jr. I believe.
Junior, yes.
That was the Paris Hilton ads.
Oh, there's no way, really? I just called that back.
Yeah.
Exposed myself.
Yeah. That was hot.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. That's hot.
Yeah. I think she's trying to make a comeback. I see ads for her on X all the time now. I think she's making a movie or something. Trying to become relevant again.
I need ammo.
All right, for our last topic, and it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about Kalshi refusing to pay $54 million in winnings on trades related to Khomeini's death. Now, Kalshi is the prediction market, not a betting and not a gambling site. It's a prediction market where you can bet on certain events occurring.
Oh, God. Hey, time out. You're not talking to your wife right now. It is a betting market.
Legally, they're not allowed to call it a betting market. That's why I'm trying to stay within the legal lines here. They're a prediction market, Brian. They're not a betting market.
Forgiven.
One of the most traded bets this month, or I should say predictions this month, was if or when Khomeini would be out as supreme leader of Iran. Well, on Saturday, he was definitely out as supreme leader after he was confirmed to be killed by a suspected Israeli airstrike on his compound, but Kalshi does not pay out upon the death of a person.
Oh.
Their justification is that they wrote in the terms that he would only be considered out if he was overthrown or resigned. It has specific carve-outs for death, as it is Kalshi's long-standing policy not to celebrate or glorify someone's death. Now, in their defense, Kalshi agreed to pay everyone out on the last price before his confirmed death, and people at a minimum would get their money back, so supposedly nobody was supposed to lose money on this prediction, only this opportunity cost that would have paid out if they considered out as death.
Read the T's and C's, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, some people are predictably very upset about it too, though. That they thought, and I mean, if I read it and I didn't read the fine print, I'm like, out means out. Like, he's no longer the leader. That death should count.
Word choice
Woulda,
is
coulda,
very
shoulda.
important. Mm-hmm.
Like we got people at the base.
And I guess Kalshi's defense and what some lawmakers are saying, which I can kind of see their point on this one, is that they don't want to profit off death. They don't want to glorify death, but they said they also don't want people going out there assassinating people to try to win money either. That says, like, at what point will this person die? And then some weirdo goes out there and kills this person to try to win their bet.
Slippery slope.
True.
Yeah.
Because if you remember during the Super Bowl, this most recent Super Bowl, there was a prediction market, will there be a streaker on the field? And some people are trolling that says, well, I'm going to bet $600,000 that there will be a streaker. I'm going to buy my ticket, fly to Santa Clara, streak on the field, and then I'll get paid, a couple $1 million for it. So it's one of those, like, this is actually within people's control to change. Like, for sports betting, you have to get to the players, or you have to get to the coach. Like, there's a very select few people that can, quote, throw a game or change the outcome. But if you have something like, will there be a streaker? Well, any Joe Schmo can be a streaker on the field. Well, will this person die? Any Joe Schmo can assassinate this person and then get paid out on it.
Isn't that what life insurance is, though? It's just taking a bet that someone's going to die before you've paid in more than you're going to get out of it?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that might be better regulated, because I was trying to think, like, there were instances on Kalshi and Poly Market where it was the case that the person that profited was the person that caused the event to happen. Like, exactly like that. Someone would bet that there'd be a streaker, that person themselves was the streaker, then they've invalidated that bet. So I guess similar to life insurance, like if this person causes somebody to die to get paid out of the life insurance, then they can invalidate that.
There's usually some clauses built into that too. Like if I'm not going to say the word, but self-unalive or whatever it's called. Yeah, that doesn't happen. So
that's not considered a payout then.
Right.
So, was there a streaker, yes or no, at the Super Bowl this year?
Yes.
I know there were people that ran on the field. I don't know if it's like
he took his shirt off.
Okay.
Yes.
Like,
so that's
that.
yeah, and I think that's where Kalshi would probably come in. Like, yeah, did someone run on the field? Yeah. Was he naked? Nope. We're not paying. So like, therein lies.
It has to have full frontal, right? Is that the definition of a streaker?
Yeah, because honestly, if I can go run on the field, take my shirt off, and that's it, and that's considered streaking, I'm doing it. Like, but if I have to go full frontal nudity and then be labeled a sex offender the rest of my life, never going to happen, right? So yeah. I almost bet you in the Kalshi stuff, it was like, we got to see, where the food exits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for this to pay out. So, and then that's game over right there.
It does get a little bit nuanced as well, because related to the Super Bowl, there was an insider, and that's the other risk of all these prediction markets. There's insiders, because people did actually profit from the attack on Iran, that people made millions of dollars predicting the attack date, but not the death of the supreme leader. And for the Super Bowl, there's the halftime show. I think we all want to forget what happened there, but there was a bet that says, will Cardi B perform during the halftime show? And I guess there was an insider there that saw the rehearsal of the halftime show and saw that Cardi B was not going to perform. So this person bet a ton of money on no. And then what happens? Cardi B gets on stage. She like wiggles her butt for like 20 seconds or whatever. And then Kalshi counts that as performing. And then the guy's like, no, she never sang. That's a performance. And then there's this fight like, well, what does the word perform mean? And then you got to read the T's and C's and go into the legal minutia of what is a performance.
This is why we have lawyers.
There's no shortage of need for that, for sure. See, that's why you just stick to like markets that are pretty obvious, like because our friend of the show Victor, he bet on, I forgot what he bet on. I think he bet on like Israel attacking Iran back in June or something, and he got screwed out of it because they're like, well, did this count, did this not count? And they use something called an oracle system, so he got screwed out of some money that way. It's like, stick to things that have a definite yes or no. Will this team win by more than 7.5 points? Well, it's obvious, like that's going to happen or not happen. There's no gray area there. Will T-Mobile have a commercial at the Super Bowl? Well, it's either it is or it isn't. But I guess you could argue, like, if the commercial runs before the game kickoff or it runs after the game kickoff, is that technically running during the Super Bowl? Who knows?
So I'm not a gambling man in general. I'll take the sure thing every time. Lower payout for sure, but yeah, I don't need to get lawyers involved.
Did you say lawyers, laggers?
Lawyers?
Lawyers? Yeah. Are you back east? Where are you?
I'm in Arkansas.
Arkansas. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Your accent's leaking out slowly.
It does from time to time.
Liars.
Liars.
Just liars. They liars. Make them say, Remember Master P?
Na.
Sip the shaka.
We're dating ourselves again.
Wow.
I know. I had something I was presenting in San Diego, and I was trying to just kind of explain our Square X acquisition, and I pulled the video from Spinal Tap, I think, where it was just like, yeah, he's like, everyone else's amp goes to 10, ours goes to 11. He goes, well, is that better? He goes, yeah, it's one better, right? And so I played the video, and then someone came up after the thing, and he was definitely younger than me. He's like, yeah, didn't understand the video at all. I was like, by the way, I've never seen the movie at all. I just know the reference because I didn't even know the reference. I just heard that you can turn something to 11. I typed it into Chat GPT and it gave me the video, and I played it for you guys. But thanks for calling me old, jerk.
Yeah. Got to know your audience.
That's where I'm at now. So.
Yeah. All right. We got a few minutes left, so I want to continue our tradition of asking a cybersecurity interview question. So here's one for the group. What is a living off the land technique, and how can defenders detect it?
So it's milking the cow and drinking it while it's still warm. Good old 30-06 will keep the bad guys away. That's my answer.
Homesteading the cows.
Yeah. What about you, Dustin?
You gotta have a garden, maybe some fruit trees in addition to your animals, some fish in the pond, yeah. So that's what I'm going with. Similar in cybersecurity, have some. My best guess on this exact definition would be something similar of, like, sticking to your territory for an extended period of time, self-sustaining, and then eventually leveraging, what you've gained.
Oh, this is a technical question. I missed that.
Okay.
I think that one's on me. I should have said, what's a living off the land attack technique? Because you gave me the literal definition of living off the land.
Yeah.
Technique. There you go.
My answer's purple.
So that's when attackers use native tools to avoid detection. Like if I pop mimikatz on a Windows box, well, every EDR on the planet, including Defender, should go off. That says, well, this is a foreign tool. It's extracting my passwords. It's going to set off all kinds of alarm bells. But if I use a native tool like a credential dumper, then it's a lot less likely to be able to detect that. So a lot of people use like PowerShell. A lot of people use like Microsoft Remote Assistance and things like that. And these are all legitimate tools. They're signed by Microsoft. They're on the allow list. They're approved processes to be run, and they fly under the radar because they are native tools and they are allowed to be run. And I guess the best way for defenders to typically defend against it is get a baseline. So you have to get a baseline. Does somebody in accounting use PowerShell regularly? Probably not, unless they're a super power accounting user. So you get a baseline to say, well, your average accounting user will never use PowerShell. Then you set a detection that says, well, if somebody in accounting all of a sudden uses PowerShell, well, that's highly suspicious. But on the flip side, same thing with developers. Developers probably use PowerShell quite a bit, or use Visual Studio quite a bit, but they might not use Intuit accounting software. So then, this accounting software is approved, but somebody in programming should not be accessing the accounting software. Therefore, that deviates from the baseline. That's usually how you find these living off the land attacks.
So you need like a UEBA,
something like that.
Solution.
Yeah, exactly. Or the other way you could do it is if you have a client installed on a local machine, and that client can read processes to say, this person is using GitHub. Normally I access GitHub through PuTTY or through my website, but now all of a sudden PowerShell is invoking GitHub. Then you can say, well, that seems suspicious. Someone's trying to exfiltrate something through PowerShell up to GitHub. And then exactly to your point, like this is user behavior analysis. That seems like that's odd behavior.
Yeah, under special skills, definitely don't write, I can hit a man-sized target from 300 yards with a rifle from a standing unsupported position.
Like this is of a restraining order.
Yeah, this is for a programming job, Brian. Oh, my bad. This is a great lean-in into your SecOps story. Context is key. Follow me March 19th at a Zscare Ask Me Anything. I will be there. Be square.
Nice. And where can they sign up, Brian?
Oh, LinkedIn. Yeah.
I was killing so many.
Go to the Zscare page. I'm sure you'll find it. It'll be fun.
Also LinkedIn, March 19th. Be there, be square.
Because if not, you won't be around. Right? Isn't that the saying? Around. Be there, you're square because you're there, and I won't be seeing you around.
Then you can find out how far out Brian can hit a man-sized target from an unsupported position.
It depends on the tool in question, to be honest with you. Handgun, I'm really good at point blank, so.
Well, we continue to get great comments about our Dad Joke of the Week.
Dad Joke of the Week.
This week, our guest Dustin is up.
All right. And what's interesting about my dad, I ran this by my actual dad, and he did not appreciate this one at all. So,
I like it already.
I took my dog to the vet last week. Regular checkup, get his shots for the year, that kind of thing. So walked him in, the veterinarian picked him up, flipped him around, looked at him, and looked at me and said, "I'm gonna have to put your dog down." I said, "Why? What's wrong? What do you see?" And he says, "Oh, he's just really heavy."
Womp womp womp.
Yeah.
That was like that Family Guy skit where he's like, "Oh, this doesn't look good," and then he kept going back and forth. He kept making all these shticks about Peter dying.
Don't land there.
All right, to wrap things up, U.S. Cybercom is all up in Iran.
Out here, running towards
A government contractor's son was arrested for stealing from the U.S. government. Don't post pictures of seed recovery phrases, and everybody should leave Kalshi. That's all I have for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. Appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. my co-host Brian Deach, and our guest Dustin Henderson, I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Thanks.
Bye, Felicia.
Have a nice day.